Welcome back, everybody. We have Trudy Davies Davis with us today with the Image Academy, and she's also our stylist here on TCB. And one of the reasons why you're not looking at crazy plaids and polka dots and prints and all kind of, we would really be in bad shape if we didn't have you. That's for sure. So we love Trudy very much, and just so glad. I think I have always wanted somebody to speak into my life and say, this looks good, this is what you need to be wearing, and just to help me in that area. And then God sent Trudy, so we're thankful for that. And she's the kind of person who's not afraid to say, take that off. That happens. But the question is, can we take it too far? Can we take image too far, or obsess about it? What do you think?
Well, I think that we can obsess about anything, you know, gambling, over shopping, sex, anything like that. But, you know, that's not really, I guess, my focus, because what I have found out in my career is it's that when a woman or a person finds out what does look best on them and how they can put their best foot forward, they become less self-focused. For instance, I styled a woman recently that just had her second child, and she was going back to work, and she said, you know, I've never been heavier, but I've never felt better about myself. And so, you know, that woman's going to go out and be more confident and actually a better employee and feel better about where she is. So that's where I think that the obsession a lot of times comes out of a negative place, as opposed to knowing what's best for you.
I heard a term last week called the Quasimodo Syndrome. And they did a study in Britain, and they found that 60% of people that were in prison for heinous crimes, you know, murder and rape and all these things, that they had this Quasimodo syndrome. In other words, they had something on their body like protruding ears or bulging eyes or a deformed chin. And I guess growing up, they never had any positive affirmation, so they grew up with this syndrome, this complex, and they felt so bad about themselves. And I found that when you feel bad about yourself, you act on the way you feel.
And I just want to piggyback on that. And they were, and that study is that they were prisoners. So there was a study done in a prison, and so most of, you know, the majority of the population there had some type of plastic surgery correctable situation that they could have corrected with plastic surgery. So the follow-up on that was in 1988, a study was done on prisoners who received plastic surgery post-incarceration, and only the ones that did have the plastic surgery, there was only a 3% recidivism or returning rate, as opposed to 80% of the ones that didn't have plastic surgery. So, so you know what that says is that our image impacts us as much as it does anybody else.
I think the bottom line is, it's why are we doing it? I think you have to ask yourself that. Am I doing it because I want to feel better about myself? And there's nothing wrong with that. We want to have our self-confidence boosted, and that's totally fine. But is there an underlying issue that I'm trying to be someone who I'm not? Am I not willing to embrace? And I think that's where it can go to extreme, because you see all sorts of plastic surgeries, and I would call them plastic surgeries gone wrong, but a lot of people really wanting to take it to an extreme because they're trying to be somebody who God didn't create them to be.
That's good stuff.
But Trudy, with this being such a positive thing, why is it so negative sometimes with the church?
With the plastic surgery?
No, with us, you know, adorning ourselves, you know, with the makeup and the hair and the...
And I think, you know, I think a big part of the problem is just comparison and jealousy, and I just really hang my hat on the fact that when we're insecure about ourselves, we're not going to want to see someone else flourish, but when we feel good about ourselves, we just embrace, and we want our sisters and brothers to be the best they can be as well. And I really do, I've just seen it over and over again that that's usually the root cause.
Well, Trudy, what do you think what would be your advice for people at home? I mean, we know we have access to you, and you work at Macy's. They can come in and work with you there, and that was amazing. But what would be your advice for people at home when they go out shopping on their own and say, what am I looking for that's really going to help be right for my body shape or whatever it be?
I'd say that it's the three things. One, look for a color that you know brings life to your face, that illuminates you, that's harmony with your natural undertone. It makes your teeth look whiter, your eyes look brighter. That's, you know, that's kind of a given. Secondly, dress proportionately, meaning if you're large in one area, that's the area you want to downplay. Let's say if it's your hips, you know, you'd want to downplay that and keep all the pattern up high. And thirdly, just know that your fashion personality is also going to drive your choices. So if you have 20 animal print tops, you know you need to stop that and step back and try to get outside the box of that a little bit. So that's some basics. And you know, there are so many online courses and just books that you can read. But it's just number one, believing that there is a beautiful person inside you, and she or he can come out.
Can I ask? I know you were you worked for a plastic surgeon for many years.
I'm a registered nurse.
So can we just go back to that just a minute and speak about you know plastic surgery and how much is too much? And,
Well, so you know, I think
have I had too much?
They're beautiful. They're beautiful. So you know, I think the media loves to focus on extremes, and that's what we see. Is you know all these cat women and all that. I worked for a plastic surgeon for 9 years. Like I was saying, I was a registered nurse. I am a registered nurse, and I never saw anyone like that. But what I did see was people who were able to have that little bit of boost of self-esteem when they've gone through, you know, a traumatic life event, and you know, maybe a little plastic surgery just makes them feel that edge. So, you know, again, I think media likes to focus on those extremes. And for myself, actually, this month marks my 7th year of being a breast cancer survivor. So, you know, I'm very grateful for plastic surgery, and so I know personally what it can, you know, this is self-esteem that it can give you. So
stay with us. We're coming right back with more of Trudy Davies Davis.